I am the self-help hacker. How have I made it this long without making this a video title? And I know I've mentioned it before, I've referenced it before, but here it is. The less a person knows, the more they have to prove. And this goes back to a phrase I use all the time, high conflict personality. See, when I was younger, and even not that much younger, but pre-age 35, I was the kind of person who was willing to debate with other people. I was willing to argue that I was right and that they were wrong. I was more easily triggered for that. Whereas now, I just truly, it's apathy. I don't care about someone agreeing with my point of view. I'm happy to explain my point of view, but I do not need anyone to agree with me. That's a waste of my time. My time is very valuable. I'm very protective of my time. So if someone doesn't believe me, even though they're wrong and I know it, that's on them. They need to live through their own years of life and create their own self-hacker series later on once they learn that, and that's okay. My life is no different whether they agree with me or not. But typically, people who are younger, especially under the age of 35, it's like that part of their life is still, your identity is being formed. You're still determining what you believe, what you don't believe. You're determining your moral values. You're determining what you believe is real and what is not. You're determining what is actually important. You're determining what your life goals are. All these things you have to know, you have to figure out. And part of that process for a lot of people is they have what I call high conflict personality. They're the people who like to go online in the comment section, argue with people, try to prove that they're wrong, right? Because ultimately what they want is respect from that process. They want to try to get respect by, oh wow, this guy on the internet's right and I'm wrong, which that's never going to happen, but that's what they want, because ultimately they're testing out their own theories in the same way that I constantly reference the way people are with their phones, saying, am I funny enough? Am I pretty enough? Do I matter? Which that's what they do on social media. People are never asking questions. They're really making statements. If someone asks a question, say on Facebook or whatever it is, if they're asking a question, they're really making a statement. And that statement is, I want you to pay attention to me. I want to know that I matter. If they make a statement, ultimately whatever the statement is, then usually they're asking a question, and that is, do I matter? That's ultimately how social media works. But either way, we're seeing people who haven't quite figured out their identity, and they're wanting to figure out who they are. So for those people with the high conflict personality, they're going to be the people debating and arguing and trying to prove people wrong. Ultimately, the less you know, the more you have to prove. Ultimately, the more you have to prove to yourself. And that's why you're going to see a sign of adult maturity of people who mentor and lead people and guide people through their leadership skills and through their communication skills. Because a lack of all those things is high conflict personality, debating and arguing. So a person who is debating and arguing doesn't have communication skills. They have arguing skills, and a lot of times they think they win the argument when they get the other person to stop talking, or get someone to laugh at what they said about the person, or they attack their character. That's not actually winning the argument at all. They've won on a third grade level, I suppose, but that's not winning. Winning is being able to actually help guide and lead someone, but it takes knowing who you are to be able to do that. So the less you know, the more you have to prove. But the more you know, the more you want to share that knowledge and help other people, which is exactly the concept of this channel. I know who I am. I am 38 years old. I am well past that age of 35 of still trying to sort out who I am. I know it now. I'm a couple years into it. And that's why I have no interest in arguing, debating, trying to prove that I'm right. I openly said it from the beginning on this channel, one of my videos, your opinion doesn't actually matter. And see, the thing is, keep in mind, I'm looking into a selfie cam. So when I say your opinion doesn't actually matter, you better believe I'm talking to myself. Of course my opinion doesn't matter. It's funny, in case you need a refresher on that topic, whatever you think about Trump, abortion, climate change, whatever it is, whatever you think about that, no one actually cares. Your opinion doesn't actually change anything. All it does is help you figure out how you perceive the world. And that's good. It's good for you to know your stance on Trump and abortion and climate change and all those things, all those emotionally triggering topics. It's so important that you know what you believe. But your opinion doesn't matter. Your opinion's not going to change laws. Oh, but you got to write your congressman. Okay, fine, do that, but don't put it on Facebook. Don't put it on social media because it doesn't matter. Your opinion is not going to change anything. But see, people who haven't learned as much in life, again, they have a lot to prove, so that's why they're doing that. For me, I have an opinion on everything, but you don't hear me talking about it unless it's ultimately to serve a purpose, because I know that it doesn't actually change the world to share my opinion on a very polarized topic, because I mentioned in the very first video in this series, it's all about tribalism. People often share their views and opinions to reinforce their own beliefs, to ask society, do I matter? And ultimately, all they're doing is they're either getting the people who already agree to applaud them, or the people who don't like them to curse at them and get angry with them. That's all they're doing. They're not changing anything. They're not helping anything. So the older you get, you realize that. And with your formulated opinions and views, you're willing to share them, but not in a way where you have anything to prove. So that's a sign of emotional intelligence. That's a sign of someone who's got life experience. You're going to see those argumentative people typically be younger than the age of 35. And what I would say is, when you see someone who's not like that, typically that's going to be someone who maybe they've been watching my videos and they've been learning all these life hacks, and that's why they're able to do it. But what my point is, those people stand out. If you're younger than the age of 35 and you're in control of your own emotions and not letting other people control them, and you realize that your opinion, and you accept that your opinion doesn't matter. What's funny is, every time I mention that in a video, those are the few videos that I get that get multiple thumbs down. And especially the one where I actually said that in the title. It was a popular video, but it received a lot of thumbs down. And that just tells me that's how many people I have viewing my channel that can't accept that truth yet. They really think that their opinion matters. Does my opinion matter? No. My opinion doesn't matter. We can say this whole video isn't my opinion and it doesn't matter. And that's okay with me. I don't need to matter, because if I needed to matter, then I would know that I don't matter, because I would be invisible to the world. People who know who they are aren't having to prove who they are. People can already see who they are. Your comments belong right here.